All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the UofT Esports channel. I'm your host, Spaffles, joined by Zedred. Zedred, how are you doing today?
Hello, I am doing fantastic. I can't wait to get into some Deadlock.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be week 2, the Deadlock Collegiate Series, a team our school's playing in. It's great to hear.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, pretty cool. You know, we're already all the way in week number 2, and if any of you have been joining us, haven't seen DCS before, so DCS is a community-run tournament, and it has a best of 2 series. Yes, you heard me right. Not best of 1, not BO3. It's best of 2s. And how that works is that every weekend the teams will play 2 matches against each other, and then the score between those 2 matches will be tallied. And then ultimately, at the end of the season, you'll look at the win-loss record for each team. So no matter what happens today, we're going to be seeing 2 matches between these 2 teams.
Yeah, that will be good. I am excited. These 2 teams, we have such a long history. It's going to be us versus Northwood. We've been in this tournament since season 0. They didn't start at season 1. They wanted to kind of beta test it. But since season 0, we've been playing against them. We have been scrim partners. We have been rivals. Through thick and thin, we've been together. It's been great.
Yeah, and all that thick blood is finally coming to clash, and I'm excited to see the matchup between these two teams. Why don't we head into the draft?
All righty. All right. And we are. Sorry about that. We are heading right into the draft. The teams are getting ready. And let's see what their choices are going to be today. What are you feeling, Spaffles? How do you think the first bands are going to be today?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of really big buzz, a lot of hoopla around some of the new characters that we've gotten recently. So Celeste and Apollo are disabled in this tournament, at least for the next week, because of how recently they came out and still taking time for the teams to settle. I didn't even get to make a prediction. We already have the Sinclair band, and I think good that Magician. I would help that Magician get that divorce just so I don't see him in my games anymore. What am I gonna
Yeah, he is a menace. It's a good ban for
say?
UofT. Northwood is quite proficient at the Sinclair. They they
Yeah.
really are. We have some great Sinclair players. I don't know if you've ever seen Stellar play Sinclair. He is a beast on that character. As we look, waiting for these next
Hmm.
bans, we're seeing there it is. Silver. It's she's number one priority right now
Yep.
in pretty much everywhere you go. Anywhere you see Deadlock, she is being picked or banned immediately.
Yeah, the just the raw amount of power that's, latent in that hero, even though she has like one of the quote unquote worst guns in the game when it comes to a lot of, menial tasks like farming and all that, she makes up for it a lot in just the amount of burst damage she can do. And then on top of that, just the amount of disables in her kit and when she goes into wolf form, how snowbally that can be. I mean, there's good reason that Silver is pick or banned, and on top of that, we have Billy as well, just another S, triple plus tier hero.
Yeah, no, Billy, the trading potential is just unlimited. The amount of sustain that character has, he's great frontline, great alt, great usage of everything he needs.
Yep.
It's really hard to get through Billy to get to that backline. As we keep going here, Abrams,
All
that's
right.
another frontline pick, matching the frontline with frontline. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Get them both out of the way. You can sometimes struggle if you don't really have a strong, R1, R2 pick. Then if the enemy team gets the chance to ban out another character that your team so desperately needs, like a frontliner, then you can really find yourself in a pretty difficult situation. So, going with the handshake is a pretty decent idea. Shiv as well, getting picked for Northwood. I mean, Shiv has been just that little nip in the meta. I feel like Shiv has always been pretty good, especially so in the competitive play circuit. So seeing him here is absolutely no surprise.
Yeah, Shiv, he's always there.
Yep.
Some people say he's had some bad times. Personally, I've always thought that he's looming. He might not be first pick, he might not be he might be last pick, but he's always there and always ready. He just knows how to get things done. He's Shiv. As
Hmm.
we look on the other side, we got our pick potential for UofT Holiday coming in. That's going to be a great pick. I'm excited. I love UofT's Holiday. We got a great one. We really do. It's going to be fun to see. Oh, that's a great pick. I'm happy we got it.
Yeah, Holiday's another one of those characters where you watch a good Holiday, and I believe it. We do have a very good Holiday on our team, but you see it at a Holiday that's practiced the character that knows them in and out, and the amount of like utility and the amount of damage and everything they're able to pump out just being an initiator. It's really a sight to behold, and it's always great to see.
Yeah, as we look, our next pick, Mirage, is gonna be next up. Oh, that's gonna be a carry pick. That we'll see how that
Yeah.
goes. Um,
Yeah,
oh, that's
do you know off the top of your head who would play Mirage in our team?
100%. It's gonna be our one and only misclicked.
Hmm.
He's our carry. As I sometimes like to say, he's our slot one. If you're a Dota
Yep.
player, he's he's our ADC. If you're League, he's doing what he can to get things done. Um, as we keep going in this draft, I'm really surprised we haven't seen any pick. I'm from the Archmother. Paradox, maybe Beatbop, something. Because if these get banned out, they're gonna have a really hard time engaging these fights.
Yeah, and you know, as annoying as it can be when you run up against like a bebop, for example, in your regular matchmaking queue, it seeing the character in this context is really different, especially as well for Hayes. When before Hayes, you have a lot of that, giga carry potential, but when you watch it in professional play, it's a lot more like you mentioned the initiator, the pick roll. You go in, you get your pick, you get out. And Paradox, I can't believe we didn't mention Paradox before. Paradox is a very good pickup here for Northwood, and you're looking to execute exactly on that role.
And immediately the red gets banned out as well. Yeah, as
Oh
you're
wow.
saying, Paradox. And I actually did misspeak earlier. I do apologize. Currently, UofT is on blue side, on Sapphire. Amber is going to be Northwood,
Oh okay.
which honestly, looking at it more, does make sense. We have great pick potential with our Paradox Johnny. I believe we're going to see Stellar, or sorry, we're going to probably see Alex on the Abrams. Shiv, I gonna say is gonna be Fractal. If he's the one playing today, it's gonna be
Yep.
great. As we wait for this ban, what do you think bans are gonna be? I'm looking at supports, maybe a Viscous Kelvin. I'm frankly shocked that Kelvin made it through round one. But kind of the meta, I guess, on picks has been going towards picking these supports later on in the draft, comparing to before, where we were just immediately picking everything up off rip.
Yeah, and it is certainly like a matter of greed, but it's just a handshake that happens between these teams, right? Nobody picked up Rem early, and then we see the Ivy getting banned as well. I think Northwood are pretty concerned about some of the damage that the Katsu bombs can do, and the utility with the ultimate and being able to traverse the map and really save your teammates from some sticky situations.
Yeah, as we're looking here, oh, just looking from more players' perspectives,
Yep,
I'm still looking at Misclicked. He's going to be great at that Wraith in Furnace. As I was saying
yep,
before, he's kind of our left click carry most of these times. Uh, he's been known to bring out a Warden when he's in meta. Graves, I believe he started picking up with the new patch. Not too sure about that one.
yep.
Yeah, the rest, maybe a Dynamo for Johnny. We're really going to have to see as their timer is slowly ticking down in the draft.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Warden pick. Okay, we were speculating, we were waiting to see where Mythclick would pop up, and I think Warden definitely, has taken a life of his own lately. He's pivoted more so towards the gun, back from Spirit,
Mhm.
but he has been an absolute menace to go up against. And talking about menaces, we also have a Venator picked for Northwood.
Yeah, Venator, I
Yeah,
don't think he's been the strongest of the new ones. He's doing a great job at what he needs to do, but he's not he's not the number one pick. But he is quite the carry. Warden, time to change the world. What else can I say? I'm really excited to see. I'm assuming misclicked on that Warden. Oh, it's a great time anytime we see him playing Warden. And the Krill being picked up as well. I'm an avid Krill hater. Not from a meta perspective. He's great. Honestly, he's been pretty consistently great the entire way through the meta. But as of right now, I just dislike playing against Krill. He just walks up to you, he ults you, he does his thing. It's not fun. It's not fun for anyone.
yeah, yeah. There's always something that has to be said about that. Point and click CC ability, the ease of execution, and just being able to really ruin your opponent's plans. We also see UofT. They pick up the Great Talon. They pick up the Lash, especially. That's I feel like that's a really big splash in terms of the team fighting ultimates that UofT were really sort of lacking in. They had a lot of good side pressure. They have a lot of good engage potential, but getting the lash, especially getting those ults to be able to secure kills or to displace the enemy team, that's really solid. And then another point as well about the Venator pick is you have a lot of healing in the UFT composition. You have the Abrams, you have the Shiv. Your Warden is going to want to build a lot of lifesteal. So having those anti-heal grenades and also having that true damage on the execute really makes sure that you're able to weed out some of the more sticky members on the UFT roster.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a game. We have a lot of crowd control on our side, a lot of mid control.
Hmm.
Abrams, Lash, gonna do a great job. Warden's gonna be great in these closed off areas, popping
Yep.
that alt, shooting people down. Spellslinger is gonna go crazy. Paradox is gonna be great for our pick as we're just finishing up the draft. I'm really surprised we haven't seen a support on the side of Northwood yet. Krill, I guess, could be considered more of a support, but we really
Hmm.
don't have much. As well, there you go. There's the Kelvin. He makes his way around. It's almost like I know what's going to happen in the draft. He comes around, he shows his face, finally back from a first pick, first ban to a very last pick of the draft character. He's had his way around, but his dome always consistent. His heals always consistent. Maybe power crept a little bit by the likes of Rem, but he's just a great support all around.
Yeah, pretty well said. There's certainly something to be said about how far Kelvin has fallen, at least in this draft. Seeing how for the longest time he's been first pick, first band, but seeing him come in as the 16th overall, that's definitely something for sure.
As we just take a moment just to make sure everything's going great with the game. Spaffles, how you feeling about the draft? Any worries for either side? Feeling confident? What's your thoughts on
Hmm.
today?
All right. I mean, if I'm looking at this from my UofT bias side, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with the sort of draft that we have. Uh, we are really I feel like we're really leaning towards, making those big plays, trying to get kills early and um pumping out the damage earlier in the game and trying to end out that way. When I compare it to Northwood's draft, I don't know where the characters went. But when you have the Venator and you have the Billy and you have the Holiday, you have a lot of that scaling pressure. And as long as everyone is well farmed, especially the Mirage, when your characters are well farmed, you can really start to dominate on those later game fights, especially if you're playing smart about what kinds of engagements you take and avoiding some of those dark rooms and corridors that UofT really want to catch you in.
Yeah, as something was happening with the good old stat locker. But yeah, as just a reminder, on the side of Northwood, we got Billy, Holiday, Mirage, Venator, Krill, and Kelvin. And on the side of UofT, we have Lash, GT, Warden, Paradox, Shiv, and Abrams. We're ready to go in game. How are you feeling as we head into the first game of the season or
I'm pretty
of the week?
excited. Yeah, we've got a lot ahead of us. I've been playing a ton of Deadlock lately, as I'm sure you have as well with the new update, and
Oh, yeah.
seeing all the new characters and interacting with them, and getting interacted with. I feel like I've seen a lot of people, more so than ever, really just counter itemizing, and makes my sad Chungus Haze life more depressing when everyone's buying metal skin.
Yeah. I mean, as a
Yep.
Yamato, every time actually a spellbreaker come up, it hurts my heart ever so slightly.
Yep.
Let's get into the game. Lanes are looking pretty standard here.
Yep.
We got Kelvin Mirage against the
Are
Warden
we on the game view?
Abrams.
Sorry.
Uh we have Paradox GT on that Lash Holiday, or sorry, the Venator Holiday in the mid lane. Surprise, no Lash there. Then
Hmm.
Lash and Shiv on the side against the Billy and the Kelvin.
All right. I mean, it's a pretty even lane states all around. I'm not really seeing too much action. We are still in the caster cam, by the way, just so you know.
The game is just coming up as the moment. Do apologize for that. Not sure exactly what happened there,
Yep.
but we are up.
All right, and so overall things have been pretty even. We see the Venator there just managing their own small gold lead, but that's mostly, the swing is going to be caused due to denies. We see an early skirmish here over the tier 1 camp, getting a good hit there onto the Paradox, shotgunning them into the wall. They are able to escape with 1 HP, but that is going to be a lead there for Northwood as they steal that tier 1 camp.
Small leads over and over. That's just going to be the difference maker here. These two teams are the top of the top, both in the first group. They're both averaging these massive ranks of Ascendant, Turnus, whatever it may be. They are the top of the top, but I believe recently Northwood has picked up some really strong players. So they might be considered the leaders of the tournament. They might be the favorites to win, but it is certainly not an easy game when you're up against UofT.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you're talking to the UofT that appeared at the first Deadlock LAN in North America. That definitely had a story behind it.
Oh, what a tournament that was, sir. A mess on a mess. But I mean, yeah. Funny enough, speaking of that tournament, Icy, one of the players on Northwood, joined up with us. We were down, we only had 5 players for the final game. So Icy came in with us and joined our game, and he's currently, I believe, playing right now. Maybe not today, but he is on the north side of Northwood.
Nice. You know, it's always good to see familiar faces around, and then see, you know, people that we're accustomed to and used to happen.
There's the time thief.
You know, as the early game has been progressing, it's pretty standard that both of these teams are playing pretty safe. We have, you know, most of the goal difference between these characters has really been down to has the wave crashed yet? Who is clearing the waves first? A lot of action here on blue, surprisingly. You know, see the Venator playing very, very aggressively for UofT's tier 1 camps.
Yeah, in those tight corners, he's a monster. He can stun you against the wall, pop you, and he has some pretty strong early game damage, especially against the likes of a GT and Paradox, who don't have the most HP. They aren't the tankiest. As we're looking at this Holiday, looking for a gank on the Abrams and Shiv.
Yep.
What's happening here?
The Abrams Shiv combo, they've been pushed up very far, and you know, Holiday's ability to rotate over quickly is paying off. There's going to be a lot of chunking happening. We see the Lash losing a lot of HP there, but ultimately there's not really going to be a kill.
Yeah. Quite a failed attempt. As we look towards the blue side, it looks like Venator has just been completely pushed out. Holiday wasn't there to help. This makes sense. Sweet. 5 minutes just does pop. It looks like Northwood was able to get both the bridge buffs today. Holiday coming back into the lane, grabbing one of them. I believe it was health. It was. That is going to be a tanky Holiday and a hard target to kill.
Yep. The Venator obviously is going to be pretty happy having the solo farm, all things considered, even though they did trade a little bit of Guardian damage for it. And we also, if we want to take a look back at that right lane, we see the Abrams immediately, you know, back again, diving into the tower, and they secure the first blood for their team on the Mirage.
Yeah, that is... It's a strong... Abrams is the medicine lane. He's the tank. Yep. He is the crowd control to get you under, to hit that heavy punch once it's leveled up enough. And you really can't do much against it. It's quite strong. So we do see them backing off. They suspected that Holiday coming in, and it looks like they were able to get out. Holiday trying to chunk out Warden. Nothing much is going to happen there. The solid kill and a solid but minimal 2k lead in the early game for UofT.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty comfy, but those leads, they can evaporate just like nothing. And, you know, we also see the Holiday there just, you know, stealing away some of the boxes from the team to make sure they get less value out of their, you know, fed lane as possible. And we do see more damage coming out onto the blue tower from UofT.
As they get through, looks like Warden is gonna fall. Abrams able to get out here. Yep. Holiday hits the gank after gank after gank. Does not want to let this blue lane just breathe. Keep this really strong pressure from taking too much.
Yeah, and an additional thing to note as well is that the Warden actually did just rotate over. Warden was starting off in the left lane, traded with the Lash, hoping probably for a bit of a better time. You know, we have this winning lane. Let's get the Warden in here. Let's get some free farm. Get them nice and fed and large. But unfortunately, things don't pan out when you're getting 3-man games.
As Mirage pops his tornado way too early. We got the Abrams coming in, just guaranteeing that kill, the heavy punch going through. Clean execution from UofT side. As we look on the other side of the map, it's like Krill is dropping as well.
Yeah, we see the Mirage ult there, just trying to get back to the garden and do as much damage as possible, but not quite able to save it. The Billy engaging in on the Lash pops. The ultimate is going to pull everyone back nice and close. Good, nice parry onto the quick melee. Going to be plenty of punishment for that, but you know, you see Billy, he has a life strike, he has a battle vest, and it's pretty unstoppable.
Fractal is gonna drop. The ship is down. It looks like the dive is gonna keep going. Will they be able to get Lash as well? He is one slippery guy. It looks like he's gonna fall as well. Holiday dropping low, not getting out. It was a clean execution from both sides. Getting that parry on the light melee on the Billy. What a prediction for that, but the 3-man, 4-man with the Venator coming over was just too strong.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where even though you did get the parry, you're not quite able to do enough damage to the Billy, so he gets off scot-free, and then you find yourself in a pretty bad position once the rotates start to hit. Especially when the fight gets extended like that. When it comes to UofT, right, after they claimed the first Guardian over on the right side, they're not quite able to, you know, take advantage of that, not quite able to convert that into anything else, so it's a pretty solid overall play there for Northwood. I know it did take 4 of them.
My friend.
You see Lash going in, taking out the Holiday. Completely missed it there, but Holiday was on the slots, got low herself, and Lash was able to just take a quick cleanup. Not even using the ult there.
Yeah, it does also seem like the healing rate was on cooldown, so they're banking about being able to, you know, hit the Sinners uncontested, pop the heal right, and get away with it after, but it fortunately just turned out to be a little bit too greedy with the current state of the map. Both of these teams now, they're looking to get active. We have the Urn spawning soon in 20 seconds. You have Holiday, you know, we're really just trying to shoot down this Grey Talon. not quite. It's just going to chunk them down quite a bit. That's 1 barrel, I think, in 1 shot at 470 damage. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's going to be Holiday's plan.
Yep.
Continuing to just come from the side lanes as mid buff spawning, and Venator is going to grab that spirit buff. It does looks like Northwood got both bridge buffs again, both the 5 and the 10 minute. But as I was saying before that, Holiday's just going to keep coming in, keep popping those barrels, keep trying to get those lassos, and seeing if they can get the pick. It's going to be the same with the Paradox. These pick characters all are really focal points for each team.
Yeah, and we do see the Kelvin and the Billy just, you know, ganging up on that Lash, making sure he's not able to get that farm that he's looking for. Overall, most of that Soul's difference isn't actually... I will say it's not as impactful because of Northwood's rocking the 2 supports, rocking the Mo and Krill, rocking the Kelvin. They don't scale... They scale well with Souls, but not as well as some of the, you know, damage-based carries UofT has. So overall, their fighting power is not really disturbed that much by that, you know, 1 to 2k soul swing.
Yeah, and when you're looking at the grand scheme of things, this, like you said, 2k at most soul lead is split between these 6 characters. It's not even an item per character. It's a effectively meaningless soul lead right now. It might mean that they hit these big thresholds, these 6,400 items, these level 3 alts, whatever it may be, they will hit them earlier. It just doesn't look like it's mattering right now, as Northwood does pick up that mid lane as everyone is trying to contest the Urn. Yeah.
Yeah, good map pressure there from Northwood, and then finally they're trying to get some earn action going. Nice lasso there onto Johnny's, not quite able to convert it into a kill just yet. The Abrams ulting in deep on top of the Holiday. The Sparrow goes wide, and Billy finally does fall. Holiday as well. That's a 2-0 trade for UofT.
Yeah, it's a strong play. Started off Holiday finding a good pick on the Paradox, but there just wasn't enough damage. It was a bit too early. Fortunately, they aren't able to do much with the lead. Krill was able to grab the urn, bring it away. They had control the entire time with it. They might be able to get blue, but I don't see it happening. It looks like it was just a fight for the souls.
Yeah, and with the urn decisively on Northwood's side, they're able to drag it back into the spawn, deny it completely. So UofT ultimately, they are going to get the souls, like you said, from the kills, but not much more than that. The Lash dropping a quick engage onto the Holiday, you know, using the movement to get out, and Lash is not even.
As it looks like the side, right side, we have another pick coming in for Northwood. They're really finding these spots where UofT is lacking, but at least they're trading it out. They do get the urn, and Shiv and Lash are gonna have to give that unless Krill is gonna be able to take Lash, pick him up from the skies, get him out. They're able to trade the Guardian for Guardian, but it wasn't a great trade. Urn is going for the side of Northwood, and there are a lot of kills going to their side as well.
Yeah, just like that, we went from UofT being in the lead by about 4 or 5k to being behind 4 or 5k since 10k with Soul Swing there. And we have the Calvin here just trying to run for his life. It's going to be a good kill, a consolation prize there for the now fed Abrams.
Abrams, 13k is the sole lead for UofT. It's pretty even around the board. We're looking at Ben and Mirage and Billy, all 13k as well.
Yep.
So we take a look at the items. Not too much is happening on the map.
Let's take out Lash.
We're not seeing too much. Again, it's the early game. We're still less than 100k souls each. Nothing too out of the ordinary for my eyes.
Yeah, ultimately as well, just from the perspective of someone who plays melee characters occasionally, it does feel really, really bad to be behind. So having the Abrams be ahead, it does feel pretty nice, at least in the moment. We are, you know, closing in on 15 minutes, so this soul urn will be respawning. We'll have, you know, as the game goes in further, closer to 20 minutes, 25 minutes, we're going to start seeing the threat of mid-boss coming into play. Really, really deep kill there from the Holiday, and the Mirage gonna back out now.
Yeah, as you said, urns just spawning, fridge buffs are just spawning, and we're just getting picked off. This is probably going to be another 2 fridge buffs. Another really high priority for Northwood, but doesn't look like they're going for them. We have Krill jumping in on the Abrams. He's going to have to give up 1. The Venator might die for that pretty greedy play there as we look what's happening.
Yeah, pretty intense fight there, starting off over the movement buff. Good, you know, time shots there from the Paradox. We see the Venator just trying to snipe as far as possible. The backline is low HP, but it is going to be an immobilized coming out from the Warden, and Mirage to Deterites.
Yeah, that was, even though they got the pick on the Warden early, that was pretty in the hands of UofT there. They were being a bit greedy to fight that space that they just didn't have control of, especially when a lot of their team was on the other side. Venator and Mirage going and seeing they can just sneak it out. Doesn't look like it. They go maybe for this urn.
Yep, and the urn is going to be quite difficult here for UofT to contest with if they choose to at all. They do have some members pretty far away. Shiv obviously is going over to the right side of the map, kind of put in check there by the Billy. But no, we see Johnny here playing aggressively on the Paradox, looking to really zone away this Mo and Crow is living here right now.
Going Bird is coming down. His Holiday went pretty deep, getting Slowing Hex in, getting swapped out. Malachite is going down here, but Billy is there. Billy gets ever blasted up. He's in the fight. Abrams down, getting carried out. It is a messy fight. As Crims falls, the Krill is down. Abrams falling as well. Looking at Warden, trying to change the world here, but getting domed off and getting killed out. It is a 2-for-1 fight for Northwood. And it looks like Paradox might sneak this urn away, but not too sure. Getting frozen out, getting lassoed, and getting killed. 3-for-1 and the urn for Northwood.
Yeah, it's a pretty big, pretty big tragedy there for UofT. The fight started off there initially pretty good, but I feel like yet again, right, they got stuck looking at the Billy. They didn't have enough damage to kill him, and then one by one, really, they all just fell one after another, and then they also had to forfeit control of the urn. So Northwood, they're going to take that fight, take the urn, take the walker. They're getting their flex slot, and it looks like the warning came back just to die all over again.
This Billy is a monster right now. He is not being stopped. He might be stopped here as he gets carried and heavy punched out.
Yep.
But that was a monstrous play. This went from an even game to an 11-12k soul lead. Might not seem much. They also got the urn, so they're getting these extra ability points. They're getting their flex slot with the first walker of the game being taken. This game just broke wide.
Yep. And seeing, you know, not to look too far into the future, but this does spell a bit of a disaster here for UofT. The kill there onto the Billy was very good, making sure to shut him down at least a little bit, making sure that you're able to reclaim some of your farm, have some security on that side of the map. It is all pretty good, but also, yeah, being so behind on your areas, especially when compared to a frontliner, it does pose pretty significant challenges. We see here the Moen seems to be freezing the waves, or was attempting to.
Holding the wave just a little bit there for Billy, it looks like, making sure the Warden can't do much, getting him, denying these souls.
Yep.
Warden, he really needs to just kind of sit and farm for the first 20, 30 minutes of the game as you go. And having him not be the soul lead, not only that, but pretty middle of the pack. He's just above the most of the team, but he's certainly nowhere near that Abrams. Not having these souls is gonna really hurt his thing. His play, and he gets Phantom Strike, but Lash comes out with the ult, throws him away. Might get knocked down, but they get out with their life, it looks like.
They're able to get away to safety, and you know, the Northwood play, even though it was completely neutralized, right, Northwood are losing on this play. They brought 4 members, almost 5, I think, into the UofT jungle trying to find an opponent. Nice little kill sneak there from the Grey Talon. You know, it's stealing a little bit of money away from your from your Abrams perhaps, but he's fine. He's playing good.
Yeah, getting that souls, getting the stacks up. It's gonna help this GT be ever so stronger as we look. Little fight in mid. Nothing too much is happening. Paradox might be going for a play. Looks like it's restored.
Yep. Yet again, Bridge buffs are coming up. UofT seem pretty content trading a 1-for-1 here. Warden playing really aggressively around this holiday, knows that he has Lash's backup. Maybe the Billy here that actually gets caught.
Yeah, Billy grabbing the health buff, but he doesn't look like he's going to be healthy for longer as the dome gets popped. Abrams is going to have to run as he's full HP. Pops the ult, should be safe to get out.
Yep.
Looks like it's just going to be for them as the fight keeps going.
What?
Krill gets swapped in. Billy chains up everyone. And it looks like a pretty big overplay from you. As Krill is the one who falls first.
That Abrams is just not dying. Having, you know, 4 enemies in your soul siphon, I guess, just provides you with so much tankiness, so much extra regen. You know, that was a lot. I mean, you also see, you know, the Venator going off on their own for the play on the Blue Walker. You didn't have the full force of your team behind you there, but overall, all things considered, being a one-on-one, that was pretty not bad.
A one-on-one, but if you're looking at that map, Venator was able to trickle down the Blue Walker there, but he's so close to the fight, they're able to turn on him immediately, while Warden is on the other side of the map. He gets a free Walker for that 1-for-1. It was a great trade overall for you.
Yep. Not looking to play active, getting engaged. Holiday actually delivering the urn, but it is going to get caught up there at the last second by UofT and making sure don't give them 3 urns in a row.
One's gonna knock down. He's gonna try to change the world here. He does get the all knock. The two being thrown right into him by the lash. He gets one. Two go down. Krill is being chased out here. So far looks like a great play. Krill gets the Mercy. I'll try to get carry off. But that just looks like a clean 3-0 for UofT as they keep going. Billy, the unstoppable, tries to get one, tries to get the lash, but it looks like it's just a 4-0 sweep for UofT. They keep going here. Mirage looking to fall. This might be the mid-play that they need to turn this game around for them.
Yep, 20 minutes hits. You have those long respawn timers, and the ability was out for a total of about 50 seconds. So there's not going to be too much you can do to come back from that. The mid-boss is falling, and we have the Venator getting a pick onto the Warden. So pretty bad overall, but to be fair, the Warden was down in ultimate, so even if there was a mid-boss contest, it wouldn't be too necessarily impactful.
There you go. Looks like he went just a bit too deep trying to get out that Mirage.
Yep.
Was able to take him down, get at least a little consolation prize for Northwood.
Yep.
But UofT has swung this game back in their favor. 3 rejuves. Her soul's being effectively even. The lasso comes out onto the Abrams. Might just be too tanky for this.
Yeah, I mean, the Abrams was overplaying his hand a little bit there, but, you know, cannot be punished at this point. At least it doesn't seem like it. When you look to the gold distribution, though, Northwood sitting very, very comfortable. You have 27k on your Venator, you got 28k on your Mirage. Your carries are, you know, feeling good, feeling fed. You know, really powering through those items. You see Mirage with the Ricochet. That is definitely something to look out for.
This could be a trap.
Items I'm looking at that Ricochet, as you just said. We see a lot of knockdowns on the side of Northwood. We're seeing a lot of slowing hexes, a lot of great CC. This is going to be a hard one. Lash does have the rescue beam, and I'm not seeing one on the side of Northwood. That could be a game changer. I'm always a really big believer in the rescue beam. It's a great item, great way to save team in case they get lassoed, in case whatever happens to them, they're able to save them, and that's might be really useful against this pretty heavy double kick pop.
Yep.
The urn is ours.
Yeah, especially the, you know, kinds of abilities, you know, you rescue team against a Holiday ult or Mullen Krill, and well, suddenly your pick target's no longer there.
Yeah, it's... Hey guys, I pulled in the GT, it's a free kill. All of a sudden, the entirety of UofT rains down on you as you get pulled into their team. Yeah, it's gonna be...
Yeah.
They just get a free urn there. Bridge buffs are spawning.
Yeah.
They should have control of both sides. Mirage trying to get something, but
I see the
he knows
detective.
not to make the same mistake as last time. Counter spells, and he just gets himself away.
Yep. When you're playing against 3 urns, or 3 rejuves, you really got to be passive. You got to be careful. You got to play closer to the base.
The urn has been dropped.
Looks like Mo actually does get to pick up the urn here, just to work to deny it from UofT to prevent that gold lead from, you know, opening up further. Now UofT, they really have few options here, right? There aren't that many objectives left to play on the map. They are going to try and push here for Walker on blue, but we'll have to see if that's going to
Reposition.
They get the swap on the Kelvin. He is able to get away. Venator doing lots of damage out with his ult. Popping it, really just denying really anything UofT can do. They've taken the farm on the map, but I mean, they still have 3 rejuves. They really weren't able to use this mid buff other than the pressure it gave. Northwood did a really good job of holding back, playing safe, sticking to these towers. They did lose some money, but not too much. They're only down just about 7k right now.
Yeah, all things considered, that's pretty good here for Northwood.
You need to make a stand and stop them.
You know, continuing this urn dance, Moenfeld's about to start taking damage here because the urn's been out for too long. And they actually are starting to play pretty aggressively now. I'm not 100% confident on the rejuve timeout, but you know, right as I say that, the rejuve does time out. So the fight is pretty good here. Sorry.
Nice work.
Sorry, to get in, Fractal goes down, Billy pushing everyone out as he really does. They tried to deny it, but Billy changed everyone up. Crow was able to get it. The last ult comes through. Primus falls. Fractal getting low as well. Billy is just doing everything he can. Holiday seems to have gotten out. Haley is just gonna keep going. You look to the other side of this fight. Venator looks like he's gonna get lashed down.
A Venator will not be denied.
Paradox coming in, gonna see what else Johnny can do. Counter spells, knockdown, but doesn't look like a great fight for UofT.
Break the Venator's
Yeah, and
face.
60 seconds on those respawn timers. You know, Northwood, they know what they need to do. They have a wave pushing onto the right side walker. They have one pushing down mid as well. This is probably going to be a triple walker play for them unless the Holiday's able to clear it before they initiate away. 42k to note, especially on the Mirage. Very, very far and ahead, more fed than anything that UofT really has to counter with. You see the Warden really struggling to get his farm up, 379 to a 28k total. It's a bit of a tragedy.
Yeah, you're looking at those Mirage items, you are not feeling great on the side of UofT. He just came back into shop and full bot leech. That's never a great sign against a Mirage. When
Yep.
you're losing these fights, and he's just sitting at 7k.
I see Lash!
Yeah, it's off the bat. You've got this fight going on. The Great Talon gets picked up, and you know, UofT, they don't really have too much to retaliate with. The mid boss should be coming back somewhat soon, and I don't really think that they're going to need it. This is going to be a play deep into the base. They're going to get the shrines. They're going to potentially even knock the boss. Or knock the
Take me where I am needed.
unless they go right.
Now the mid boss spawning just 30 seconds here. It's coming down. It's not too late. They might be able to get back. Most of UofT are going to be alive, but
Yep.
this Mirage just keeps getting stronger and stronger. It's going to be a hard one for UofT to come back to.
Yeah, down almost 30k now. This is we're entering the burger flip era. So once your team is this far behind, you really have to start making those big plays. Northwood, they're going to be looking to keep things stable. They're going to do low risk items. They're going to take mid boss, take the farm on the map, continue to expand their lead, and you know, all of the expectations. It all comes down to UofT. Can they do anything to destabilize this team and you know run this train off track?
The rejuvenator is descending.
Yeah, looks like UofT is not going to be able to contest. Abrams was looking to pull up, but he just didn't have the help he would have needed to stop anything from happening. There's too many counter spells to just dodge the Abrams ult. Too many ways to just pull him aside, dome him out, whatever they needed to do.
Walker is under attack.
It would have been, frankly, a meaningless attempt if he were to go for it. So good on UofT for stopping. Looks like they weren't able to grab the urn to protect it. Kelvin might be getting picked out here. Yeah, correct. Just denying bridge buffs.
Yep, holding that gun buff just a little bit longer, making sure Venator can show up and, you know, claim what's rightfully his. As, you know, Northwood, now they have their eyes set on the base. It's going to be a comeback urn. Northwood looking to, you know, delve deep into enemy territory to try and claim it for themselves. I don't think there's really too much that UofT will be able to do to deny that.
30k down, 3 rejuice out. It is going to be a hard fight to get anything done. They were able to push out these waves. They stall out the timer a third. They need another 2/3 of that. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it without their base being taken over. So they take a very safe way to this urn. But it doesn't look like UofT are going to have the numbers to contest.
Yeah, it's going to be a full
on
5-man,
cooldown.
6-man if you include the Mirage ult as well. Just, you know, applying as much pressure as you can across the map. We are going to see the Warden collapse on him, though. Interesting to see if the Lash will be able to, you know, help them secure that kill. It's just, wow, that damage.
Yeah, we have this 2v1 going to the way of the one as Mirage falls and we look at the other side. They're taking 2 fights at once.
Yep.
UofT had 2 plans going and neither of them worked. They split their numbers.
Yep.
Crimson's just gonna lock down the Paradox. Get the cruise ship is gonna run for his life. I don't know where he is going other than to the grave.
Yeah, that capacitor really shut him down there, but you know, even if he did make it back, there's not really too much you can do from this position. So it was a good idea in concept, but they weren't able to layer enough CC onto that Mirage. They, you know, really shut him down. So it just ended up evolving into, okay, well now your team is split, so you don't have the ability to use these game-changing ults like the Lash ults, and now you're stuck trying to make hits.
They still have 3 Reachers.
Yep.
It can just stay an end. This looks like a PBM's Lash coming back up. Crims. Abrams pushing Venator to the wall, but just not enough damage, not enough life. They're not able to stay in the pit. Lash popping the ult.
Think it's time to remind them of the
He grabs
around
2.
here.
Isn't able to get them into the base. They're just gonna run right back out and keep whacking it down.
Yep. A valiant effort there, but ultimately Northwood, they are in the commanding seat. They are up, you know, 70k now, and they are going to claim the victory over map 1.
What a first game. That was a sight to see. It went back and forth until it was that one of the later earn fights where they were able to get things done. As we pull out and we look, let's see who the MVP of the game was. As not really too much of a shocker, we have the Venator. He was insane that game. Mirage was as well, but if Venator was just in those fights more, those ults were just deadly.
Yep.
Just take a look at the scoreboard. How are you feeling, Spaffles?
Oh boy. I mean, it was one of those games, you know, where the early game was going really well for you. You had things looking up, but you know, Northwood, they were able to keep up a lot of that good map pressure on. They were able to get the double bus every time. They got 2, 3 earns back to back to back, and you know, being able to snowball that. Even though UofT, they did get some good punches in, they weren't really able to convert anything into those leads that they so desperately needed. So once things started to swing back over to Northwood, we saw that, you know, death slide that took the last 10 minutes there. So I think what's really most important here is, you know, getting your team together, really thinking about what went wrong in the specific match, and really just thinking about what you can do in the moment to fix it for your next map.
Yeah. As we say that, we're just going to take a quick 3-ish minute break, Spaffles. I'm excited for game 2. I'm hoping UofT can bring it back. They've showed a lot of promise in their plays, but it just wasn't enough. Northwood were able to get those macro decisions through, and we'll see what UofT can do as we head into our break.
All right, welcome back everybody to, game 2 of our DCS week 2. It's going to be another round between UofT and Northwood. But first off, I do want to extend a thank you to our sponsor for today's stream. To help you focus on what's important, BMO has checkings and savings accounts, credit cards, and borrowing options, especially designed for students. Open a BMO student account and get up to $950 in value, including $175 of cash with BMO's current student offers. Visit bmo.com/students for details, or you can also use !BMO in the chat. And an additional shout out to BMO Next Level. It is a first of its kind program dedicated to helping gamers level up. He brings a commitment to helping viewers achieve their goals and has a passion for gaming as an active member of the gaming community. You can follow their channels by visiting twitch.tv/bmonxtlvl, or you can also use !BMO NXTLVL in the chat.
All righty. Again, thank you so much, BMO, for really making these streams possible. Although these are volunteer options, it's always great.
Yep.
As we head into the upcoming draft, be up in just a moment. What are you looking for in this next draft, Spaffles? Worried about the Billy? Any bands in particular? What do you think is going to be happening here?
I'm pretty worried about the Billy again. Northwood, they just had a pretty dominant lead with him. Never felt like he was really touchable, even when he was even. We saw that parry into, 3 people collapsing on top of him, and he still lived, thanks to his blasted state. When it comes to what I'm looking for from UofT, I mean, the Abrams did work out really, really well for them. Hoping to see a run back on that. Maybe a little bit more of an active early game, perhaps. The Warden was a good idea in theory, but really failed to scale into later game. And potentially also what I would like to see is just a dedicated support for the team. In the last one, they had initiators, they had their Lash, they had the Abrams in the front line, but they didn't really have any of that, extensive utility. They didn't really have somebody that they could just, throw curse on, for example. And the game didn't go long enough for that to really feel too impactful, but it did definitely, you could notice that it was missing.
Yeah, as we head into it, I frankly want to see that Billy first band, as UofT is on the side of the Hidden King. If you're an old player, on the side of Amber, we'd like to call it. But no, it's going to be the Shiv instead. They really guess maybe they could be going for that first pick on the Billy, maybe denying it out. Maybe they don't think it was a problem. They thought it was something else, and they're trying to draft around that.
Yeah, I mean, banning out the Shiv is a pretty telling sign. It seems like, if we can't have it, we're not going to give it to you guys. They wanted to go with sort of a different direction with this draft. Interested in seeing where that is. Going to be another ban here onto Sinclair. Just you can rant on for weeks on end about that character, to be quite honest.
Immediately, I'm looking at these bans. Silver is open. Silver was not taken. That if they might be going for the play of, hey, we'll give you your Billy, but you're gonna have to ban the silver, or we're taking it. And if you don't take that, if you don't ban the silver, we'll take the Billy instead. So it looks like they're trying to trade 1 for 1. As yet, silver is being taken up by UofT.
Wow. I mean, big game of chicken there, throwing away that ban like that, and silver gets picked up for UofT first. So, big damage getting done by her. You've got that excellent utility when it comes to the bolo, when it comes to the tail swipe, disarming, disabling stamina, especially in this meta, feels extremely useful when everyone and their mother has, stamina mastery built in. You have Abrams and Billy getting picked up here for Northwood. That's going to be a repeat Billy compared to last game, and also just a deny when it comes to the Abrams.
They're immediately grabbing their front line out. They're not worried, saying, hey, you get your silver. Good luck getting through our Billy Abrams.
Yep.
Good luck turning into a wolf and actually being able to move. As Holiday gets picked up, a lot of denies. Abrams denying, or Northwood denying the Abrams, UofT denying the Holiday. A lot of things are changing up. As get through it. I'm frankly quite concerned. I'm really excited to see silver. I have not seen a silver get picked through in a while. The Mirage is getting picked up. This is probably going to be, as I was saying before in the other draft where I was mistaken, this is going to be instead of that Warden. Mirage is synonymous with the name Misclicked. He is great at it, and he will carry on it.
That's really encouraging to see. And it is also like that big splash of spirit damage that it really felt like the UofT team really needed, right? Silver brings a lot of bullet damage into the team. So, equaling that is always a good thing.
And we do see the Paradox getting picked up for Northwood.
Yeah. Get one pick character for the other. Holiday, Paradox. I mean, if neither are banned, both are picked. That's
Yep.
kind of how the game goes at the moment. You need one or the other. Some teams will play the haze, some teams will play the bebop, but you're not at this highest echelon if you're not picking up that Paradox and Holiday. So you look towards these bans. I'm assuming we're gonna have some supports being banned out. The way the last game worked, it was how it went. And yeah, Ivy can go both ways. Johnny, UofT's Ivy, our Ivy, is a pretty big support player. So I would assume they're going that way. As we just keep going, yeah, through the draft.
Yeah, not terribly surprised to see another Rem ban here. Rem is just so game warping when he is present in a lobby. It's not that he's the strongest character necessarily, but having to play against the little I'm not sure exactly what they're called, so I'll call them Remlings. You know, having to face off against the Remlings, having that constant threat of, oh, I'm just going to Bluetooth do your sinners. I'm going to Bluetooth take the buff. I'm going to, you know, do all of this and still be active on the other side of the map. And especially as well with the Rem buffed troopers, there is a lot of potential for that character to really manipulate the game state.
Yeah, as you were saying, just having an ability to just say, hey, we have push on yellow lane. Good luck playing the 5v6 is immense. You always have push on the side lanes, especially with having the Mirage as well. You have two great side lane options of putting, as you call them, the Remlings, or just having a Mirage come or go and TP in. So the Lady Geist is going to be picked up for Northwood. I believe it's... I'm not remembering who their Geist player was, but I know back in my day, they were quite nasty on that Geist. It's going to be a pretty strong pickup, as I really am surprised to still see 0 supports in the game. But they'll be getting picked up soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're really, really leaving it to that last pick there, last few picks. Geist is, you know, one of those characters that's another threat to be close range to. I would have expected, honestly, to see it more so out of the UofT draft, but seeing out of Northwood, you know, sort of makes sense when you do also mention that, yeah, they have a really big Geist player. They're able to manipulate that character and pilot her very well. And then we see the page pick for UofT.
There's the dedicated support you were talking about before. Page is great. The shields are quite strong. And that's gonna be the Yamato. I'm a Yamato player. Anytime I see a Yamato, my heart goes just warm and fuzzy inside. You know, it's so nice to see Yamato get mentioned. Great ult, great front line, is able to do whatever you want and usually get out with it with abusing whatever you want in the kit. It's so fun. Yamato is just, it's my pick. You know, if I see a Yamato, I'm gonna be talking a lot about it. I'll be talking about the build throughout the game. You're gonna hear way too much about the Yamato from me. Mina gets picked up on the other side.
All right, I'm going to hold you to it on the Yamato, by the way. I'm going to have a notebook. I'm going to track how many times you mention her and how many times you mention your items. So you better not, you know, let me down too much. Yeah, when it comes to the Mina is, again, a really strong, skirmish-heavy character. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but a lot of people do perceive her as sort of, you know, plinking away from a distance, but Meat is actually best played when you're, you know, closer range to your opponents, when you're able to hit the rake, when you're able to really maneuver more freely. So it does make sense to be picked up with this team comp. And also, you have the Kelvin getting picked up for Northwood. So they're ending out their comp there, and they do have their support. They have their damage dealers, they have their front line. A thing to note is they really are lacking quite significantly in that sort of longer engagement range. They're really relying on being able to get in close to you, being able to do a lot of damage to you, and they're not going to really be able to really sneak away any objectives or anything like that, because they will have to, you know, play in your face, in your space to get things done.
Yeah. exactly as you're saying. If it's not Paradox picking somebody up, it's maybe the Abrams getting a odd charge and slam. But
Yep.
other than that, they're not getting anything done unless UofT is severely misplaying their positioning. It's a lot of weight on the Paradox.
Mhm.
It's gonna be hard for them to get engages. They will have a brawl of a team fight. A lot of frontline. I mean, Abrams, Billy, both frontline. Geist is a very close range character. Can be playing poke with your bomb. Typically, it's more of a gun tank build, I believe, in the meta right now. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe it is, and that is going to be typically playing right up in your face, stealing away your life, swapping you out when you can. And that Mina, as you're saying, yeah, is also going to be a close range pick for them as UofT finishes out the draft with the GT. I'm excited. I always like a GT. We have some great GT players on our team.
Mhm.
The lane pressure is going to be great. I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, I do think that, you know, at its core, the strategy from both of these teams is pretty different compared to what we saw last time. So I'm hoping for, you know, a pretty dynamic match, hopefully a little bit closer. And I'm looking forward, right? The Great Talon especially is going to be pretty hard for Northwood to get onto. I'm expecting a ton of knockdowns, actually, from both of these teams. Um, but yeah, I mean, how about we get into the match?
Yeah, as we head into the match, I'm excited.
Yep.
So we go in. They're getting into lanes now, as hopefully the game is on your screens, everyone. Yes, it
Let's
is.
push Broadway.
We're good to go. And no more errors like last time. On the right side, we have Yamato Page on the Bailey Kelvin. I'm seeing that towards Yamato. Yamato is a hub stomper in lane. If you're not go ahead in lane, you're not doing much in the game. Other lanes are Holiday GT against the Paradox Geist and the Silver Mirage on the Abrams Mina. How you feeling about these lanes?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty solid setup there for the Yamato. Like, I feel like going immediately back to that. The Billy, again, is a strong throughout most of the game, really. Doesn't really fall off too significantly unless he's behind in souls. What I think there's a lot of potential to happen is there's going to be a lot happening in the blue lane. We are seeing already some, like, pretty heavy skirmishes. We've got the Holiday, my friends nicknamed her the Barrel Wizard. So she's able to just, you know, dish out a ton of damage at level 2, level 3, and on top of the Great Talon as well. There's going to be a lot of action, I feel like, but not really too many invades like the last time.
No. The Geist is going to be scary. These bombs are going to hurt a lot. I was talking about how Geist typically doesn't build into the bomb in the more recent meta, but Geist certainly hurts with the bombs regardless, as she's trying to get the life to swap, but nothing's going to come up, and Holiday is getting chunked out.
Yeah, clever kiting there just to avoid the soul drain, making sure that they're not quite able to lock on to you.
Gadgets to get the job done.
And then we look elsewhere on the map, right? We have Mirage is a pretty infamously mid laner. He doesn't really have too much capacity to clear the wave. Combo that with the silver, you're going to be shoved in most of the time. But when it comes to those one-on-one duels, when it comes to, you know, actually shooting your opponents, he's able to dish out some pretty decent damage. Same with silver.
Yeah, they're just going to be at least waiting for that ult to come on through. The 3.7 give or take range is going to be what they need. Because, I mean, silver isn't too much without that ult, but once that ult gets online, that is going to be a scary wolf in your face at all times.
Yep. And, you know, this especially later on as we get into the game. I'm sure you'll see the myriad of slowing hexes and metal skins about to counter her, but don't let that take away. She is making your opponent really sink in a lot of souls into defensive items unless they want to get, you know, run over.
I mean, if we're looking at this right side,
I see Mina.
it's just going to be push on push for this Yamato. If they're not getting push, I'm going to be judging. If they're not winning lane, I'm going to be judging. But it looks like Kelvin has just decided to end up with just doing some box routes. gonna hopefully chunk out this Billy. Getting through. Take some damage off. As he goes in. Does get the parry out. As on the other side of the map, Holiday is gonna fall.
Wow, I mean, that's definitely not something that I saw happening at first. You know, you're able to keep your distance, you know, keep chunking down your opponents at range, but I guess the Geist was just able to close that gap. And, you know, now they're, you know, really enjoying that 800 gold lead that they have now.
Not something I would have expected, especially while we look on the map. The Paradox is just boxes on boxes right now. That was a 1v2 kill. Paradox was all the way on the left side on the green wave. Or on the yellow wave, sorry. Where that happens.
There's the time thief.
As he comes back to lane.
Yeah, the wave is going to, you know, die pretty delayed because of that, but, you know, getting a 1v2 kill of the Geist, which early on into the game, that's definitely an achievement, as we also see her ult is coming online pretty early.
Yeah, as we're looking at it, I mean, bridge buffs are coming in 15 seconds, and Northwood, as always, are the ones to be going for them. They've really had the momentum here. Geist pretty confirms it. We're looking on the other side, Paradox and Billy, they have it in the bag. Spirit comes up, they might try to hold it. No, just giving it to Paradox, as I'm gonna assume on the other side, gun went to this Geist. That is going to be a scary Lady Geist in this lane.
Yeah, most definitely. And you just see the way that they split up their pressure, right? They sent the Billy over to one buff, they sent the Geist over to another, especially a Geist with a life swap you really don't want to mess around with, and the chain gang out in the open. You're gonna get messed up if you look at this guy too funny.
Yeah, this Billy able to take down the Yamato in the lane. Not able to save it. Paradox was on the way, didn't end up fighting in that one, as Paradox has been dropping a lot of farm, but he has just, I mean, he's been doing boxes and boxes as he goes into the lane, and it actually got the Holiday. Ults are coming online. He did get the swap out. Just gonna keep going with these fights.
Yeah, get those boxes, deny them from your opponent, make sure your Geist gets that solo farm is very, very important, and it's already extremely accelerated considering the game state. We're seeing a Holiday explode out onto the field, trying to get a kill here. Looking at the Mina, able to survive with just 1 HP, gets the ball slam from the Abrams. The Holiday is going in deep, looking for that kill, not quite able to find her. And also disengage from both teams.
Mirage TP's in. Sorry, didn't TP in. He was already in that lane. Don't know what I'm saying. Yamato falling as well. Page, full HP. Might not live here. You're a Page. You don't really live these in a 1v2. I mean, it's going great for Northwood. You're looking at their side. Billy, 3 kills in. He's 6k. We got the Geist at 6.6. This is not the even game state that we had last time. They are using these lanes, and they are taking advantage of everything they can.
Yeah, so if we want to look at it from the perspective of UofT, right, what does this mean for someone like, say, the Geist? When you're behind this much souls, how do you change how you play? How does this, like, affect
I mean, they just got to be playing safe. They know this Paradox is here for this, especially when we're looking at this Geist gets the swap out and is probably going to live, and Holiday, I mean, as silver as she is, she should be out here. Has momentum, but Paradox is just as fast. As that is another 2 kills for going inside of UofT. Sorry for completely avoiding the question, but to answer that, yeah, I mean, they're just gonna they're gonna have to look for something. They gotta contest somewhere. This 5k lead really isn't too much. Numbers can still heavily persuade it right now before it's a bit too late. Right? They need to be stacking. They need to be protecting their boxes, their farm, and they need to be trying to kill this Geist.
Yeah, that's going to be one tall order, especially as, you know, she already has her Radiant Legion completed. A nice pick there off the silver for Northwood. She's not really able to come online herself just because how far ahead some of these opponents have got. But yeah, as I was saying, like this Geist is going to be extremely terrifying, especially now that she starts building resists. She already has her healing items completed. And wow, the Abrams makes it out.
See Paradox.
Just silver health.
Takes it out, but the bird is on its way and does get the kill.
Body.
+5 for the GT. I will take it any day of the week. We call that intentional back where I'm from. Letting him live, just to give the GT some extra spear power.
Oh, of course. And, you know, that's where a lot of the hopes here are resting. The GT, the Mirage. You're really going to be able to do a lot of, you know, consistent damage with it.
As we get out the wolf
Headed to
form, Mina
Broadway.
is at 1 HP, but
Yep.
it doesn't look like Silver's going to be able to chase much. Firms out, Mina out. They're going to get a good chunk on this Guardian at the bare minimum. Paradox is here
I
though.
see Billy.
Making sure that they can turn the tides of the battles and that surround these battles everywhere heading out of the map. Billy gets taken down, falls to the hands of the Grey Talon, and now the Abrams is able to find a kill as well.
Yeah, Paige tried something though, just a little bit too late. It was a good trade. It wasn't the worst there. They get the Billy out. They see their sideline is struggling. They aren't able to do much about it. So they just say, hey, let's jump this Billy. He's in the blue lane. We have people here. We have the means to kill him. They got the Holiday, got the GT, and the Page. They made sure something happened. One thing I am personally worried about for UofT is this Paradox has been running the map. I mean, they get the health buff, and they probably are out here with the wall coming through. Their team is just hovering.
I see the
Yep.
enemy.
Yeah, this Billy, stealing boxes, stealing farm, making picks. Her ult has been off cooldown, sorry. Or on cooldown at all times. Anytime the ult is up, there is a swap going through as they go for this urn.
Yeah, pretty strong proactive play. And, you know, we are going to see, we're going to eye up the Great Talon a little bit. Does manage to hurt the Paradox a lot. That solo healing creep, man, does heal a lot. And the bird, you know, pops in, says hello, and takes her down. That's nice, well done.
GT did GT things as, I mean, Northwood, they just get an urn. Nothing too much to say there. We didn't really decide to contest on UofT. They decided to make plays elsewhere, getting Paradox out and just not stacking for the urn.
Yeah. Again, it's just a matter of timers. There is a lot of souls. It's an awkward phase right now in the game where we were clicking through the inventory. You can see a lot of money just sitting down. People waiting for the 3,600 or for the 200 items. But, not quite able to spend it yet. Big dive comes out here onto the tower. The Kelvin Dome does come down, facing the Yamato in ice. But unfortunately, they're not quite able to execute on that. The Billy is, you know, elsewhere, right next to the walker. You're just trying to run down that Billy.
He's able to get it as Holiday comes in, says, you may have killed 2 of my teammates, but you're not getting out alive. I'm gonna kill you at all costs. As they do get it out there. That was a 2 for 2 trade, I believe. In the end, it wasn't the worst.
Yep, good kills, decent shutdowns. You know, you got your soul containers over. But feeling pretty okay about that.
Looking at the souls at the top, we have Geist. Had that lead from the start, is gonna be in the lead. Billy, 14k as well. This is a menace on the side of Northwood, both games through. On the side of UofT, we have GT at that 13k mark. That is going to be your damage right now. If you are making a play, GT needs to be there or be burning in, one of the two. The rest of the team, all around that 10k mark, nothing too special. Seen these items, the early Torment Pulse from Yamato. I'm surprised we didn't see any other Spirit items before. Personally, I like to get 1600 about for the Spirit items on Yamato, then the Torment Pulse. But Torment Rush on Yamato has been pretty meta for a little bit now, where you just get so much damage from it. It's great.
Oh, well, that's great to see then. You know, we did also mention briefly, you know, before we loaded into this match, this is probably going to be a heavy stamina game. Probably capacitor can be pretty good if you're able to build it, because we already see we have 2 stamina masteries on UofT side, and we have a couple enduring speeds. But I am also expecting some more movement items to be built, just a tad.
Yeah, as we're looking at, we also see 2 slowing hexes on the side of Northwood. Some cold fronts out as Mina's just gonna bat away. Nothing happening here. Mina doing Mina things, as I like to always say. Waves are in the side of Northwood, but this is just kind of slowly increasing for the side of Northwood, and I really want to see UofT make a play soon.
Yeah, I think the big struggle here for UofT is they're not really able to 1v1 on the side lanes. They're able to try to hold as best as possible, but if push comes to shove and there's an altercation, there's really nobody that's quite able to decisively win a one-on-one unless it's the Great Talon. But like you mentioned before, Great Talon wants to be in the team, wants to get active.
But the Holiday is able to get the lasso through and is able to make the pick, which is going to be instrumental. They now have a numbers advantage for 10 seconds in, so they are able to get a little bit more pressure. Silver going in pretty deep without the ult ready, falls, and just like that, it's going to be back into the Northwood side as Cage gets chained up. Nothing much is gonna happen here.
Think carrying all those books
GT's gonna have to back away. Holiday can't do much without the ults. That's a misplay from UT, making that lead stay at least the same, if not slightly farther.
Yeah, one of those struggles with Silver is, yeah, she's a good early game character, but she also does need a little bit of income to get her build online. She needs to get that Toxic Bullet. She needs to get the Express Shot. Being able to really proc that wolf form early into a fight and making sure to get it consistently is really, really strong. So we even saw there, she was just like 1 tick away from getting it. If she had completed maybe even another item, she would have potentially lived.
Yeah. I mean, when you're strong enough on Silver, you just press 1 button and you're ulted, you know?
Yep.
It scales off the damage, and your damage gets quite strong as you go later.
Yep.
As we see Earn just being picked up and denied from this Kelvin, not doing too much. Geist is doing the farming thing. Now at 20k. The Soul lead has effectively doubled in the leaders as Holiday gets picked out. Paige was not able to help in time, and it was just a swap. Sometimes that just happens there.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing in a situation like this, your waves aren't shoved up, the enemy is, banging on your door, and you're running around in the middle of your territory. It doesn't feel too good, especially when they're on the prowl.
I see Yamato.
For you!
Just being rescue beamed out, having a little bit of safety as they see the GT come in,
The spirit earns
making sure
waiting to be
nothing's
claimed.
happening too much.
Billy.
I mean, if I'm UofT, I'm looking at this game, I'm saying, what's my game plan? What's my win condition here? I see Mirage being able to survive in this lane against this Geist with this. It's a pretty comparable lead. They've been gaining souls at just about the same rate this entire time, which is a really good sign. This Geist is, what, 7k up? If this Geist wanted to bully this Mirage out of everything she could. Mirage did have to TP in for the fight there, which means Geist is going to be left on the side. As he goes for the tornado, bats. Mina's going to bats away. Billy gets chained up on everyone. Mirage isn't going to do too much here. He's just going to die.
I mean, that's such a large HP base, 3.3k health, and with your Mirage, especially out of the field, there's nothing much you're going to be able to do against that. Paige does have some, crafty parkour, make sure to get away from Billy at least a little bit, but Mina's able to chase her down, no problem.
Rise up and take what you do.
I mean, it was just a misplay all around. I don't think there was the greatest communication. Mirage TP's up, says, I'm going in. Please help. We can win this fight. We have the numbers. Geist is on the other side. They're going to get the walker, so we need to make this worth it. So he tries to keep going, but isn't really able to do much. As Yamato is not doing too bad against this guys. I might be speaking a bit too soon, as guys will win that fight over time. Getting the stacks up, just deleting the bird coming in. Maybe on their way for the Geist. We'll see in a moment here. Man,
Yeah,
they
we're a
really
little
weren't
strike
able-
incoming.
They weren't able to get much done there.
Yeah. Does she have counterspell?
Guys, we can take a look right now. Well, there's
Yep.
not much on the map. We might as well just take a good look at these items here. Geist does not have counterspell yet. Does have counterspell.
Yeah.
Decided to pop that, which makes sense. Staring
Yep.
the bird right down.
I see Billy.
And yeah, looking at the rest of them, there's not anything too incredible. You see a Dispel Magic there on
Lasso's
the
almost
Mirage. Some more counter itemization. We have the Slaying Hexes, we have the Knockdown on the side of Northwood. You know, some of those are just luxuries that you can afford when you're this far ahead. And it's able to continue to, you know, put yourself in the lead further.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at the Northwood side, I can't say I'm the most up to date with the meta on the items, but I'm seeing, is that 5 enduring speeds
go,
on the
Yellow.
side of Northwood, or is that might only be 4? We have 4 and 2
needs
stamina
help?
masteries. That is one speedy team. Looking at the other side, we have 3 of the stamina masteries. As you were saying before, it is going to be a stamina game.
There's the time thief.
Silver's looking for
Yeah.
something. Nothing too much is happening.
The
Rest
knights
of
of the
it,
rounds
gonna
are
go
ready.
back onto this Yamato. Building quite tanky here. I don't really like that
I see
in
Billy.
general in MOBAs. When you're
see
behind in a
Paradox.
game, you need to be building more
I
damage.
see Billy.
It's just a general rule of thumb. More damage as we come out. Holiday is popping these barrels in. Big Fat B on the GT is gone. Abrams is going to get the charge, trying to get something done. Slammed down onto nobody. Silver is coming into the fight. Sorry, Silver is gone. What is happening with the camera? As Holiday is going to get out.
Urn is waiting to be claimed.
Wasn't too much there. A bit more excitement than needed. Overall,
Yeah, it was okay.
UofT got the urn. They're gonna drop it here to the page to bring it further out, it looks like. But Silver is in and is going to fall very fast there. It's just a bit too far. Yamato still in the fight, gets swapped by the Geist. Gets out, sees this is not a great winning fight. GT is back alive, but not gonna be able to do much as Mirage has already fallen. That's not a great sign.
Yeah, we got some quick rotates here out from Northwood. They're gonna see if they're not going to deny that urn, but it looks like they're starting with the mid toss.
Yeah, they said again, it looked like there's just a little bit of miscommunication between the two sides on UofT. Half of them said, hey, we're gonna stay in this fight, it's a winning fight. Half of them denied it. Yamato going in is able to not do much with the ult. Does pop 2. Both rejuves are gone inside Northwood. One getting taken for the Yamato, who immediately falls. It looks like it might end up just being a 1-for-1 trade. Yamato is gonna fall very shortly here. We take a look further. I don't know if anyone else is gonna fall. It looks like side.
Yeah, the
Johnny's
Silver.
gonna fall on that page. Silver curse beckons, gonna turn into the wolf, gonna try to run it down.
Yep.
Disarming Hex is gonna make it really hard for that to happen.
Yeah, gonna try now to escape with her life. There's just too much, too many slows, too many damage, too many stuns to facilitate that. Overall, it was an okay trade. We have the Billy dead for a whole minute plus. You know, thanks to the comeback mechanic. You know, if you're ahead of the enemy team by a certain amount, your respawn timer gets increased. So, you know, taking full advantage of that. You know, taking the guided owl just for a little bit of a stroll out in the park, maybe clearing the wave. But yeah, no, the Yamato did a really good job there getting in there, and they got a lot of the rejuves out as well. But the fact still remain is that it's a 20k soul lead for Northwood.
Frankly, I think that went almost as good as it could have gone. It would have been great if Johnny and our Silver were able to get out there. It looks like Geist might be coming to the doubles to take them, but Yamato should be out. But yeah, I mean, they got an urn, they got an even trade in kills, and they were able to get the Walker. Mirage got a big boost of money. He is now their sole lead, and he is gonna start turning on here. I think it takes a little bit more souls for him to fully get active, but I think that was a pretty good trade for,
I see the detective.
I mean, almost a loss of a mid boss.
Yeah, you know, being resourceful, that's always been something that UofT is good at. So we're seeing them, you know, pull together those silver scrapes and they managing to come back. We see the Mirage completed his Ricochet. So the Ricochet to Toxic Bullets combo, always very good. He's going to build in further, you know, combo that Mirage stacks. You're going to have more aggressive items as well. I think you're in a pretty happy spot here.
We're taking a look at the items. As I was saying before, all that kerfuffle happened. When you're behind in a MOBA, you want to be building more damage. When you're ahead, you want to be building more health, because in general, as a rule of thumb, when you're ahead, you have enough damage, but you need it to sustain more. And when you're behind, you don't have enough damage, so you need to try to fight them in the damage, get the one-shot bursts out. So I'm kind of a bit disliking on this Yamato's build here. I would rather replace that reactive barrier with maybe improve spirit, or tank buster would be probably a really strong item here. Looking at a Kelvin, Abrams, and Billy, all with some really strong spirit reduction. We're looking at that Billy at 43%. This Yamato is gonna do nothing to that Billy.
Yeah, just looking at it. The collective health pool of Northwood is definitely something they're going to grow this year. We do see a bit of a kerfuffle happening. Silver gets caught out yet again, and
Holidays on the roof.
you know, Northwood now that they have the buff secured, they're clear that back out on the prowl.
Yeah, Billy is gonna chain up, but not get too much out of it. Holiday is looking for a thing. Does grab the guys, but he's going to get swapped, gonna get barreled,
I see the
or
detective.
gonna get slammed, sorry, and not gonna die.
Last Broadway.
I mean, this Billy is just in there, punching people down. He is getting the GT out of the fight. Abrams is gonna ult, slam down right on top of that page. Going to get a one-shot. Yamato not gonna be able to do much here. Gets the counter throw, pops the Colossus with the ult. He's gonna have a good few seconds. Gets through.
The longer this
Probably
goes on, the worse it's
here.
gonna get for you.
Just kidding. Falls because Billy is doing Billy things and is able to push well past into the base and get a walker for that.
Yeah, Northwood here are going to secure the walker. Don't quite have the advantage that they need to start, you know, heading into that base, getting the shrines and all of that. But it does set them up pretty nicely. They have a fresh urn that they're able to run. And on top of that, they have the mid-boss spawning about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah. Let's take a look. They're just trying to pull their farm as much as they can.
Yep.
Northwood going for this urn. The bird's gonna be there just to try to drop it. Nothing too much is happening. I mean, they're just trying to defend their farm. It's a really hard spot. This 20k deficit has gone down to 30, getting closer to that 40. It's not gonna be great if this urn goes to the way of Northwood.
Yeah, just getting stuck in your death throws. You really don't want to play too passively here. We see that UofT, they're all bunching up, they're grouping together, they're ready for the urn fight if it does come down to that. And we do see that Northwood, they're willing to walk in here through that very, very narrow throw.
Get picked up. He is gonna
I see Billy.
He is gonna fall. That is a great start to the fight for UofT. They need to go in now. Yamato power slashes through. Kelvin is falling. They're gonna keep going
There's
and
the
get as much as they
time
can.
Lady
Geist is able to
here.
counter spell the hook in. He's not going to be able to do much. Yamato is going to be in the back, which is going to be unfortunate. GT does get the heist down as Abrams falls low as well. Everyone is gone on the side of Northwood, other than the Mina who slipped away. Saw that fight was bad, and they see that the mid boss should be up in about 40 seconds here, I want to say. We aren't able to see the timer too well. People are on top of it. 20 seconds left, and they're going to go for this blue walker and probably turn to mid. This might be the play that was needed. Other than
Wow. And I'm not really sure how that really came to pass, right? You have a 40k or a 30k, sorry, soul lead. You go in and take the Earth, and then you just got picked off one after the other. It's a 5-for-0 trade initially, and then it becomes a 5-for-1 later. Thanks to the Mina really finding a pick there at the
They're in
end.
mid.
But yeah, now UofT, they have the ability to just run back into mid. Northwood, they are going to be able to contest it if they so choose to. They do have some really strong abilities. The ultimate available to Kelvin as well. And it does look like they're setting up here for that engage. Mina drops in pretty early, actually.
That was a pretty good play there, I have to say. Though Yamato had to pop ult, that is no longer a guaranteed mid. Yamato ult is the #1 tool they have right now to just force the mid. They pop the Yam ult, and there's nothing you can do. The unstoppable is so strong in the mid.
Yep.
I mean, Silver might just be dying here. They push any further, but no, they weren't able to get that mid. It is dropped below the screen threshold. Northwood can turn back and go for any time they like. I mean, Holiday gets the Kelvin down, but the Kelvin Dome did pop first. Yamato is in there with the Abrams. Looks like he's gonna have the power to get him down. Finn is gonna be the big target in this fight as they keep going. Turn our eyes. GT going down, trying to get the damage out, but they just don't have enough.
Yeah, really good engagement from the Holidays. It's actually been like the defining factor really for the team. Making sure they're able to get in deep, and get the picks that they need. His third kill, still down 30k. That sole lead has not budged at all, but UofT are really making do with what they have. The Billy gets shot down to really low HP. Mirage is able to take him down with almost no health to spare, and now it's just 2 people left for both of these teams.
Geis is gonna try to force as much as she can to get out. What a play. Frankly, what a play from both sides.
Yep.
You were saying before, how did they win that last fight? And I have to say, it was the Holiday, as you were saying now.
Yep.
Getting that pick on the Billy early was instrumental. They got the Billy right through. They practically dodged the entire Mina ult of that first fight. And we're looking at this fight. Holiday immediately gets the lasso. The dome goes down just as Kelvin dies, which pretty much gives Yamato the kill on Abrams. And having a 6v4 off rip is huge. No matter the soul lead. You have a 30k soul lead, but 60k of your souls are dead.
Yep. Do see here as well, very powerful items here bought out by the Mirage, especially the inhibitor. Being able to apply that to the entire team is very, very good. Is gonna, toy around with the idea of taking the mid boss. Like you said before, there's no more screams, so the mid boss is going to fall. It does seem like Northwood are oh so very aware that this is happening.
Mina immediately pops the ult. Mirage uses the teleport, gets his buff, gets it through. One of each. Yamato is in there going to try to guarantee that last one, but the dome pops to deny the Yama. As we keep the fight going, Mina is in there and is going strong. Gets the last one, does drop. That is all but one reju gone. 3, 4 dead for UofT. That is not the fight they want. They want these fights coordinated. They want these fights to be pick and push. This time it was Northwood who's the one pushing, and they certainly were the one who were killing.
Yeah, I mean, there are just too many holes in that mid-boss pit, right? The Northwood were able to collapse on them from multiple angles, get in deep, the Kelvin Dome especially. And I do also want to point out as well, the Yamato ult did come out late. They were able to steal away one Richu before the dome even went down, and having that in their back pocket just allowed them to escape from that fight without taking any deaths.
Yeah, they got some, but they weren't able to close it off. They had some great moments in this game. They had the potential to come back, but as the King drops, they're going to get out, and it's going to be a 50k soul lead to come back from. It's going to be hard.
It is quite difficult. You still got plenty of time left on that region if you want to play, make more aggressive plays. 2 minutes left for the urn to respawn, and UofT, they're just going to be, picking up after scraps, right? They have a lot of their jungle left remaining. They have all their lanes are shoved in very close to their base, so they are going to be able to squeeze a little bit more juice out of this lemon before Northwood are ready to make their final push.
Yeah, they're gonna do what they can. I'm really surprised. Northwood, you can see on the map, they're farming on their side.
Headed to blue.
Yeah.
They really should have just been farming back. They maybe leave a few seconds earlier, just farm back, take all of UofT's farm. They're ahead by 40k right now. But,
Yep.
I mean, they could have denied their entirety of their farm and then taken their farm after and just have the entire map to themselves.
Yep. And that gap is really showing, especially when you look at, where these waves are getting pushed out until Billy had to go all the way back up until his own walker didn't collect that wave. And, UofT, they're continuing to just buy more time, get that rejuve down, and wait for another potential miracle fight, right? We've had it happen twice so far, so maybe not a miracle, but a lot here is really riding on the shoulders of that holiday to get those engages, get the pick, and, lead them to victory.
Yeah. As we just do a quick item and soul recap, we have Geist, Mina. I mean, they've been the stars of the show. This Geist has been there at all times, as well as the Billy. We can't count him out. But Mina has just been perma farming this entire game, able to slip out of these fights and not die and just keep farming. So they've been able to catch up in souls, have the build down, the spirit burn, boundless, spellbreaker. Everything you need on Mina to do what you want is there. Look at the side of UofT. We have Mirage way in the lead at that 46k mark. If somebody is gonna win you the fight, it's gonna be the Holiday picking them and the Mirage carrying through that fight. We have Boundless up. Okay, Merc. We have Ricochet. Really, what you need, maybe a little bit more lifesteal, but it's looking good. The rest of them, Yamato, I'm gonna judge once more. I'm liking the build. It turned into what I want. The tank buster's there. You have the refresher. Sorry. I personally would have preferred using Witchmail here. They have a pretty heavy spirit tickle, I like to call it. They have Torment Pulse on Billy. They have a Geist. They have a Mina. There's a lot of ways to pop Witchmail here, and that is a huge item with Yamato. I'm sorry, nerding over. Go ahead. How do you feel about the rest of these items?
I mean, I feel like there's not really too much that I can say after you really provided a big level of depth. We just have a lot more damage coming out. I can personally comment on the silver, right, because I've been playing a bit of silver lately. She's doing okay with what she has, I would say. Like, the decay is very good. It helps a lot with your wolf form build-up. You've got, your express shot, no toxic bullets. Although you do have your teammates, right, to apply that into for you. So it's not the end of the world.
It looks like Holiday is going to be the one who's getting picked here. Abrams goes for the ult. The swap goes through. Mirage is down. Two key players that we were talking about before, the ones who need to win the fight, are the ones being picked out. Silver is gone as well, and that looks like it is just the base for... They don't have a wave. Mina is in the back, catching up. Yamato is going to try to fight here. Popsiel does get the parry on the Abrams, but there's too many of them. They don't have enough damage right now. The refresher double pops the ult, does as much damage as she can, getting as many punches out, as many slashes. Trying to make the movement, but it's just not enough. Soul lead, it's just too much, and that's going to be a 2-0 for Northwood.
Yeah, pretty decisive victory from them. This game was both more clean and scrappier somehow. UofT were able to really find their footing at some points in the match, but even though they won two team fights pretty decisively, they were never able to really shrink on that gap, right? They got caught around the walker, and then following that, they got killed, and the mid-boss was stolen. So, I mean, ultimately, it was a good game from both of these teams. I will like to see UofT come back and, punch back harder. Next week, we have... we were also playing with a substitute this week. I'm just going to, layer on the excuses a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah. But no, it was a really good showing all around for both of these teams. And, I wanted to say GG's and looking forward to next time. Do you have any notes that you wanted to add, Zedrid?
Yeah. just I want to quickly go back into this MVP screen. We got Geist.
Yep.
What a player that was. Had the solo farm from the start. Paradox was doing a great job supporting, I have to say. Getting
Yep.
all those boxes down, letting Geist get the solo farm, and just snowballed from there. We're looking at the entirety of the scoreboard. It kind of shows the picture of the game. Everyone saw what happened. It was an unfortunate loss, but I do think UofT learned a lot from this. They were the underdogs going into it, and they had a really great showing. This was not a sweep by any means. They had struggles, they had fights they won, and they were doing pretty good.
And
Just as
Yeah.
you were saying before, next week
Yep.
UofT has a game against GMU. Currently, GMU is has not actually score has not been updated on my sheets here. They are doing not so great in the group. They don't have any game wins yet. They went 0-2 against Northwood, and then 0-2 against UNL. Both great teams who are quite highly seeded. But regardless, they're going to be going up against GMU, and we'll see what happens then next week. Any final thoughts?
Usually this is the part where you would like add something extremely insightful, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I have dinner in 5 minutes, and my head is quite blank. I can smell the food. So
Food
I-
is
you know,
calling you.
it is calling me. So I do want to say thank you all to everyone who watched the stream. Thank you so much, Theodore, for casting and being the guy in the chair, the production, and all of that. It has been a pleasure casting with you, and it's been a pleasure being here for everyone. Thanks again to BMO, who have been our long-term partners. And yeah, tie your shoes and go to bed. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a great night.
out.